Oh, hiya, honeys. Welcome back to my spooky little corner. For those that don't know me, I am Lady Mylita, and I bid you welcome. Hello, my darklings. Today I have a little bit of a different video that I'm just going to try out, and I would really love your feedback in the comments to let me know if it's something you would like. I figured today I would try ranking my Jeffree Star Cosmetics palettes. So if that sounds like something you'd be interested in, stay tuned and let's dive in. Okay, so I officially have 10 Jeffree Star Cosmetics palettes. I am missing a few. I'm missing his first two, Beauty Killer and Androgyny. I'm also missing his one summer collection, which is the Thirsty palette. Unfortunately, it is no longer available, so I cannot purchase that one. I am also missing his newest palettes, Orgy and Mini Orgy. And honestly, I'm not sure if I'm going to purchase those or not. Time will tell how I feel about it. I have some mixed feelings about the palette itself, not the controversy behind the man, because I'm not looking at that. I'm looking at the cosmetics itself. For me, I just think the palette is too big. It is such a big palette. I don't even mind that it's just strictly a matte palette. I like mattes, you know, and there's lots of glitters in some of your other shades, and the Mini Orgy's complete glitter. So actually, I think that really works. My only thing is it's such a big palette and there's so many skin tones in that particular palette. I'm not even going to use like a quarter of them. I kind of wish what he had done was split it, that big palette, into 3 smaller ones. So that way we could have the one for cool tones, the one for neutral tones, and the one for warm tones. And that way you would get so much more use out of your palette than what you're going to get out of that big one. Unless you're like a makeup artist that you're going to go around and do lots of people with a whole palette of different skin tones makeup. I just don't feel that it's worth it for me, at least. But if he had separated into 3 smaller palettes, I would have been all over that. But unfortunately, he didn't. He made one giant one. So I'm going to go through my top, the ones I have, the 10. And we're going to start at 10 and go all the way to 1. So in 10th place, actually, it's not an eyeshadow palette. So that's why I kind of put it at 10. But he does do highlighter palettes. He's got, I think, 4 now. So this is his Northern Lights Supreme Frost Pro palette. So then he's got 3 other ones that are just his Skin Frost ones, which I don't own. I just own this one, and I wanted it specifically because it was the Supreme Frost and not just the regular one. So why I wanted this is because it's the different formula. It's the more glittery formula, and the colors are quite fantastic in it. I don't use these as a highlight alone. I kind of like it over top of a highlight just to add a little something something, and I will add it on top of a regular highlighter. So what I'm going to do, I don't have it on this today. I'm going to pick a color and we're going to put it on so you guys can see kind of what I'm talking about. So I have kind of like a pinky kind of gold look today. So see, yeah, it definitely has a bit of a gold tone. So let's see. So let's try this Anchorage right here. It's kind of an orangey shade. Now I like to just use a clean finger and I just swirl that around. And it comes out like that. And then I only use it along the cheekbone area and I just tap it. And then I'll use a clean finger to kind of blend it out. And it just adds like a touch of something. Again, we'll do it this side. This side's a little easier because of the way my hair lays. Right, and then just blend that out. And it just, I find it just adds a little touch, just a little more. If I want to be that little bit extra, I always grab this palette just to make my cheekbones a little more cut. So, number 9 out of my eyeshadow palettes is going to be the Blue Blood palette. Now, I have to be honest, I do not grab this very often, and now looking at it, I kind of wish I hadn't bought it, but I haven't. So, here is the color story of Blue Blood. It's lovely. Really, there's no problem with the pigments or the colors or what have you. I just don't grab it. It's blues, right? And there are some neutrals tones in here, which are nice, but they're all very pale. So it's not like you can really grab this and do a neutral eye look in it because it's so pale. There's no real variation on it when you put it on the eye. But I will swatch a few colors so you can kind of see what they look like. My biggest problem with the palette is this Ocean Ice shade. It is beautiful. It is gorgeous on, but it is crumbly and it falls all over your face. I will put it on. I put it on with setting spray. I actually take a fluffy brush and dust over my eyelid to make sure I don't have any excess on. By the end of the day, I have blue flecks everywhere. So I don't know if anybody else has problems with that shade like I do. Maybe I need a glitter glue with it, but needless to say, it's quite disappointing. So we'll swatch a couple shades here so you can kind of see. All right, so we're going to take a neutral. We will go with Priceless. Again, his shades are super soft. They're soft. And then let's try more like a vivid blue. We'll do Blue Monday. Again, super soft. And then just to show you the Ocean Ice shade. So there we go. I hope you guys, I'm learning where to place my hands so you can kind of see the shades. So if they're not right, please tell me. And we're just going to do the swatches on an arm. So there is Blue Monday. And then we have Priceless. And that's what I mean. Look at, that's so light. And then we have Ocean Ice, which is stunning. Look at it on the finger. It's stunning, but it falls off everywhere. And that makes me super, super, super sad. But there's some of the shades so you can kind of get the idea of what the palette looks like. Again, as I said, it performs amazingly. Like there's no question on the quality. It's really just a personal preference. I personally don't wear a lot of blue eyeshadows. And if I do, I have another palette I prefer for blues. But again, it's just a personal opinion and it's just makeup and we need to stop taking it so hard. Okay, and coming in at number 8 is the Mini Breaker palette. There's, again, nothing wrong with this palette. It's just a preference of color shades. And I have to be honest, I don't use this very much and I don't reach for it. Unless you're planning to do a vivid purple look, you can use this whole palette for a vivid purple look. But really, you're not going to grab it. You're going to grab another palette plus this. And that's my problem with it. If I'm just rating on palettes alone, I find this one was just kind of, let's just shove colors in it, right? There was no need for it. There's no kind of pattern to it. So you got these purples, you got some pinks, you got these kind of yellowy oranges, and then a brown. I don't know. I would try maybe doing these ones together, but this orange doesn't really work with those two. So again, it's a personal preference, but I do love the shade Slice. I use it frequently in my yellow video, which you saw. So we're going to swatch a few of these ones so you can kind of see them. We'll start with Orange Crush up here. She's just like a nice kind of orange. And then we'll go to Oral, which is just, I will say, this is probably one of my favorite kind of iridescent purples. So I will grab this for the purple and I will grab it for the Slice, but I don't grab it for anything else. So unless I'm doing those shades, not really worth it. And then let's see. Okay, we'll do the one neutral here. This is Hot Fudge. Okay, so let's swatch these out. Okay, so Hot Fudge, which actually is a nice kind of cool tone brown. And then we have Oral. Yeah, that shade is pretty awesome. And then we have Orange Crush. See what I mean? They just don't kind of work together. Each shade is beautiful, don't get me wrong, but do they really work together? Not really. But again, it's a beautiful palette, and if that color story calls to you, grab it, because the formula is outstanding. And number 7, we have Bloodlust. I really don't like the packaging. I find it doesn't sit flat, like it's moving. Yeah, it's purple velvet. The velvet gets dirty. The packaging just is a no for me. The palette itself, it's pretty. The color story is gorgeous. My biggest problem with this palette is the new shimmer formulas. As you can see, I've really dug into them. And I just don't find they work well. I don't find the color is very true on the lids. I know other people love his new formula. I'm kind of iffy on it. This palette, I didn't really enjoy it. Cremated, I did. So I'm kind of like a 50-50 at this point. But this palette, although is beautiful, it just didn't really work for me, especially those glitters. I do use the purples. I do enjoy purple shades, so in that aspect, I quite like this palette. I love the fact that there is like a cool tone, more blue purple, and there's like the warmer tone, more pink purples. So you have a good selection of purple shades. And then the color that they kind of throw in, like this Vile Serpent, I love this shade. It's stunning. And then the Bleeding Heart is probably one of my favorite red shades. Funny enough, in a purple palette, but it is a beautiful shade. So I do want to swatch one of the glittery shades for you. So we're gonna swatch Sworn Enemy here. And she's such a pretty color, but I can't get her to work for the life of me. And then we're going to do a purple shade. Let's do Blood Queen. Again, his mattes are so soft. I barely touch it, and look at the color payoff. And then we're going to do my favorite of the palette, which is Bleeding Heart, which is that red. Okay, so let's swatch. So I'm just going to use my arm again. So here's Royal Queen. Look at that. It is so pigmented. Beautiful. But it is more of a pink purple, which I tend to stay away from. I prefer blue purples, so I tend to gravitate more towards the blue purples here. So here is the Sworn Enemy. This is the new kind of glitter shade. And as you can see, it doesn't even swatch nicely. Like, it looks beautiful on the finger, but I can't get it to work for me. If you guys have any tricks about how to work with that new glitter formula, please let me know, because they don't work for me. And then Bleeding Heart, which is such a stunning metallic red. So really, like, the colors are beautiful. They swatch beautifully, except for the new one, at least not for me. Yeah, it's a beautiful palette. If you like those colors, by all means, grab them. I also wanted to show you I clean my arms and my fingers with makeup remover on a cotton pad during our little breaks here. But I want you to see that. That's cleaned, but it is stained. It is stained. So that Blood Queen, some of those shades really stain. Okay, so number 6 is the Mini Controversy palette. So I have the original one, the one that came out with the first launch, without the green shade in it, the Put It Back shade. I have the Put It Back shade in a separate single because I didn't want to have to buy the whole palette again. I think that was kind of silly. And the shade that they took out to put the green in was the Cry on My Couch shade. And that made no sense to me because that is like the perfect kind of bone shade for me. I didn't want to lose that shade. If they had had another shade of that one in and took out a different one in here, I probably would have bought it. But that is the shade. And please, you have Diet Root Beer in both. Yeah, whatever. So when I said that there's blues I gravitate towards, this is my blue palette that I always grab. You have this beautiful blue flat earth that's perfect for above, up to the eyebrow. And then you have this Canceled shade. It's stunning. And then you add it with the Situation, which is a beautiful glitter blue. It is my absolute favorite blue look, is those three colors. And then I usually add a bit of Cry on My Couch too. But that's my favorite look, my favorite blue shade look. So let's swatch some of these. So of course I'm going to swatch a blue. I'm going to swatch that Flat Earth because it is such a light pastel color. I want you to see it. It's so beautiful. It's gorgeous. Okay. And then I'm going to swatch My Apology, which is almost like a metallic kind of burgundy shade. It is stunning as well. And then let's do this Exposed, which is almost like a light lavender shade. Beautiful. All of them are beautiful. I quite like this collection. I think that mini palette was perfect. There's the purple. Here is that beautiful metallic burgundy. And here is Flat Earth. And it's just beautiful. It goes on smooth. It's not extreme. It's a pastel. It shouldn't be extreme. But the colors are great. Love that whole line. Conspiracy palette, the mini controversy. It was a stunning line. We're halfway through the list. Number 5 is Blood Sugar. Now, this is the palette I am wearing today on my eyes. She's more of a red, obviously. But out of all the blood palettes I think I got all 3 of them. This is my favorite. The color story is beautiful. The reds are red, and then you have these deep reddish plum shades. You got some fun, vibrant purples. You got beautiful metallics, and you will actually have quite a lot of neutrals, and you can pull off some really nice neutrally looks with this one. I tend to use this section of the palette to do my peach shades because I love a peach look. I wear peaches and yellows quite frequently. They are kind of my go-to looks. So I generally gravitate towards this palette if I'm doing my peach shades. So let's swatch a few of the different colors. So for metallics, they have Donor, which is a beautiful shimmery gold. And then they have this beautiful bright, almost neon pink. And she is called Cavity. She's just stunning. And she looks beautiful on the lid. Just that and a little black eyeliner. Bam, you're good to go, girlfriend. And then one of my favorites that I use the most is the shade Tongue Pop. And it is a beautiful peachy neutrally shade. Okay, so let's just swatch these on the arm. So here is the gold shade Donor. And she's like a beautiful, she almost has like a bit of an orange tinge to it. I quite like it. And I am wearing that today all over the lid. That is the glitter shade I'm wearing today. And then we have Cavity, which is our like magenta-y pink. And then Tongue Pop, which is a beautiful peach shade. I love Jeffree Star's formulas. I find they go on super nice. They really blend well. Say what you want about the man, but the cosmetics stand. Number 4 is the Conspiracy palette. That was a collab between Jeffree Star and Shane Dawson. Again, let's not worry about the drama and the conspiracy. Let's talk about the makeup. Why I put this one so high is I maybe don't grab it very often, I won't lie. But what I love about it, it is the most versatile palette out of the Jeffree Star collection, in my opinion. It has a little bit for everyone. You have this row here, along here is your neutral row. So you can do beautiful neutral looks with that row alone. Then your middle row here is your vibrant color row. You want to pop a color in with that one. You do your neutral and you pop that red in. What is it? Flamin' Hot. Flamin' Hot. You put that in with that. Gorgeous. This yellow, outstanding. It takes some time to build it up, but it looks good. And then your last row here is like your sultry, dark looks. So you can do an outstanding look with this top row, or bottom row, I guess, because I got it upside down. I love that. This green sleep paralysis here, stunning. I love that row. And I usually use this row more than anything else in here. But this is an outstanding palette for anyone because there's so much versatility in it. And I think if you're just a person who's like, oh, I like neutral looks, which is more than fine, getting this palette might get you thinking out of the box because you might want to put a pop of that red in. Or the pink. The pink is outstanding. So this is one I recommend more for people who like a little bit of everything because it has everything. So let's swatch a few shades. All right, so we'll swatch a more neutrally shade. This is Tanacon, and she's just a nice taupey color. Good for any kind of look. I'm going to do one out of each row actually, so that way you get a little bit of everything. And then we're going to swatch Trisha, and she is that hot metallic pink. And then last, we're going to go with What's the Tea, and it is almost like a mint shade. They're beautiful, soft, pigmented, you can't go wrong. So What's the Tea? I actually quite like that shade. It makes me think of old China. And here's Trisha, our hot glittery pink. And then last, Tanacon. Really, you could do a look with those three right there if you really wanted to. It wouldn't be difficult. But again, for recommendation of Jeffree Star palettes, I always recommend this one. So I won't lie, the top three palettes were hard. I kind of had to juggle them around a few different times to find where I wanted to place them, and even still I'm not sure if I placed them quite right, but this is what we're going to go with today. So number 3 is the Jawbreaker palette. What I like about Jawbreaker is it is bright and bold and it has every color of the rainbow. This is Jeffree Star's version of a rainbow palette. And I love it. I always pick it up. Now, I don't know if I'd use it for a full look, but I always pick it up for that bright, bold pop of color in a certain look. So when I do my yellows, I always go for Wow and Lemon Drop. And like purples, I always pick up Gumdrop. It's one of my favorite like pastel-y shades. Cute is gorgeous. You can do a full look with this palette if you want to do just bold, bright, like colors. You can do a full rainbow with just this palette, and in fact I have. So yeah, if you're really into color, I totally recommend the Jawbreaker palette. So let's swatch a few so you can kind of get an idea. We're gonna take let's see, let's do a nice, this is called And What, and it is a nice kind of almost metallic-y pink shade. And then we have Sour, which is the nice green shade. And then we're going to pick the color Suck, which is a nice kind of orangey color. Okay, so let's swatch these. So here's Suck. She's beautiful. If I do orange looks, yes, I obviously grab her. And then Sour, which is the beautiful kind of almost limey green, I want to say. And then And What, which is our metallic pinky red. What more can I say? As you can tell, my fingers are starting to get stained, so I'm going to try using the other hand and swatch on this arm for the last 2 palettes. So, coming in at number 2 is the Cremator palette. Now, I know this palette also had a lot of controversy because of the name and what have you, but blah, 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 blah. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. So, why this one is so high for me? Because it is all cool toned, which I am a cool tone person. So for me, this is my neutral palette. This is what I'm going to gravitate towards because this is what looks best on my skin tone. So, and she's beautiful. She's got, maybe there's some colors that are kind of close together, but I find this very versatile for me. I can pull out a nice kind of neutrally toned eye look. I can do really dark, smoky goth looks. This is also the palette when I want to do a dark gothy look. This is what I use for contouring. She's kind of like my all-in-one palette. I love it. I absolutely love it. So let's swatch a few shades. Right, we're going to try and use the other hand. So hopefully you guys can see this okay. Let's see. So I want to show you some different ones here. So we're going to use Death Certificate here. So creamy, so beautiful. She's like a metallic gun gray. Oh, I love it. Love it. And then we'll just pick a gray. This is Eulogy. She's kind of a beautiful, subtle gray. And then what I like is they have almost khaki grays, something a little more green tone, which is awesome for more neutrally days. And that is Inheritance. So here we go. Inheritance. She looks kind of gray on, but when you put it like a full with the green grays, it does pull out green. If you put it with just a gray, it's going to look gray. Okay? Keep that in mind. Life Insurance, which is like almost like a smoky gray. And then last but not least, Death Certificate. And she's this beautiful like metallic gun gray. I absolutely love this palette. I know some people weren't very struck on it, but I was over the moon about it. I absolutely love, love, love this palette. And for my number one Jeffree Star Cosmetic palette is dun, 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 Alien. Now, unfortunately, it almost seems wrong to be putting this in the first place position because she is discontinued. I'm hoping Jeffree Star will hear my cries and bring it back because this palette, unfortunately, I'm not going to lie, I really hate the packaging. It's flimsy, the eyes are all poofy, and it's hard to store. I don't mind bigger palettes, but at least make them easier to store. And like, this is really loose, right? Like, it's held together by a small piece. I don't like that. But here is the color story of Alien. Now, what I love about it, again, very much like the Conspiracy palette, is it has some nice neutrals, it has some fun color, it has a little bit of everything. Here on the bottom, little like horseshoe section here, are your dark goth grungy colors. You've got a beautiful black, you got a gray, you got a lighter gray. This probe shade is like iridescent kind of metallic-y green. Oh, stunning. And then you have Space Cowboy, which is your dark metallic brown. Then you have your light ones up here. You've got some light kind of neutrally shades with X-Files and Titan. You got Gravity and Martian Soil, which you saw in my last video. Beautiful. You have these amazing metallic shades. Moon Rock, UFO, Interstellar, Pluto. Stunning. And then you have these awesome pops of color. You've got Area 51, which is beautiful purple. You've got Flying Saucer, Abduction, Alien, these awesome greens. I'm over the moon about this palette. So let's swatch a few shades. So because I talked about a few of these ones, some of them are really spectacular, and I am going to do 4 for you because of it. So the first one I want to swatch is Probe, which it's almost like, it's got a shift to it. It's like, I don't know how to describe it. It is amazing. Just amazing. Okay. Then we talked about Area 51, which is this amazing blue purple. And look at that. It is so, so stunning. But then you have these awesome like green shades like Alien. Look at that. Shimmery lime. And then you have like your more neutral shades, like this Phone Home, which looks kind of out of place, but she's almost like a dusky lilac shade. And she works so well with this palette. Like I said, I can't get enough of this palette. So let's swatch. So here is Phone Home, which I say it like it's a dusky, almost kind of purpley shade. Then we have Alien, our metallic lime green. We have Area 51, this stunning purple. And then last but not least, we have Probe. And she is, I think, by far the knockout of this palette. And there you have it, my darklings. All my Jeffree Star palettes, all swatched and ranked just for you. Now, is there one that called to you? Was there one you really liked? Is there one you have that you would say is higher than where I placed them? I want to know. Tell me all about it. And again, let's leave the drama of behind Mr. Star where it belongs, not in here. I'm just talking about cosmetics. If you enjoyed this type of video, please let me know. I'm trying some different things so we can experiment a little, but I need your feedback to let me know what you think. As always, my darklings, you know where to find me. I am on Facebook and Instagram under Lady Mylita, and every Sunday we get together for a Facebook Live at 5:30 Eastern. And we do our makeup together and we always have a great time. We've been talking about some pretty controversial topics there. So by all means, please join us. The more the merrier. And yeah, I hope you can join me. Actually, this look is from a live today. So I hope you guys have a great week ahead. Stay safe and be kind to one another. It's a tough world and we're all human. And we need to have a little more patience and a little more respect for one another. Until next time, goodbye, my darklings.